Hey guys, Bad Star here. Alright, just a quick tutorial on how to edit the sound files in MX Bikes. I'm no pro, so good luck. I'll see what I can do to help you just to get started. Obviously download MaxSCL, create a shortcut, whatever you want to do. Make a folder for your sound files. They need to be in .wav format. That's very important. Here is the example folder. Inside the example is the standard 250X bike folder that I have not touched straight out of the game. And then also, most importantly, is the tires from inside the game. And I have not messed with that. It's really important to have this because you have to have the tires to represent the physics and to make the audio just sound right. And it's hard to explain because I'm no scientist. Anyway. And then you can see on my two-stroke 2.0, I've obviously got tires, that's really important, and then my 250X, which is a different set of WAV files. Now I can play mine. The only problem is I cannot play theirs. They are locked, unfortunately, but no arguing, it's their files. Alright, so let's open this bad boy up. Alright, most importantly, number one thing you want to do is set your tires folder. So we're going to do this in the example. Go to my desktop, example, set it to tires. Okay. And then we're going to set the sound file, load, desktop, example, 250X. And there's your engine.scl sound file. Open that up. Alright, if you get this screen, that obviously means it's working. Real quick to understand what you're seeing in this colored display at the top. Over here you'll see the different layers and samples. So for example, on idle.wave, and it's colored brown. And then on very low.wave, it's colored kind of a pinkish purple. And you can see that represented here. So this is your idle. And then on low, or on very low, on mid, on high. Alright, you can try to replicate this in as many WAV files as you want, exactly like they have it, or less files. I'm actually using less on my mod, and maybe I can show you why here in a minute. So anyway, I'm going to set my input to my controller, and I'm going to press play. Alright, it is actually working. You can see me rev the engine. And we don't hear anything because it's their files, unfortunately. So I'm going to press play again to stop that. Alright, let me exit out of here. I'm going to open up my example, my WAV files that I created. So for example, my idle. Then I'm going to go in and I'm going to take the standard idle out. And I'm going to put my idle in. Okay, there it is. Let's see what happens. Alright, so the tire folder should be set. So really just go in and load the sound file again. Alright, here we are. Now if I hit play, we should have at least my idle. Alright, it might be a little bit loud versus my microphone, but anyway, obviously it's working. I recommend when you're testing this, you test it in like second or third gear. It just doesn't rev so fast, and it's easier to hear the audio change. But you'll know that it's going to go right into MX Bike's audio files, and you won't be able to hear anything. But I'll show you a quick example. Alright. So basically that's the simplest way to explain that. These values right here are important on getting this to mix how you want it to mix. And then these lines our volume, okay? So right here is about 50% volume, or 0.5, I guess you could say. Alright, consider this 0.0 right here. 0.1 is right here. 0.2 is right down here. Alright, so I'm going to edit 0.2 right here. And the value is where it is on the graph. And I want to say, look at this like 100%. And we're sitting at about 27% of the graph, if I'm not mistaken. So let's just do 0.5, which would be 50% of the graph. I might be saying that completely wrong. And then I have to hit update. Alright, I was right, I believe. So it jumped to 50%. So that idle sound is going to get quieter all the way up through 50% of my throttle curve, okay? Alright. What I can do, as you can see, this is 0.2 right here. Now it's at 50%. But I want the volume to never go below 0.5 as well, just for an example. And I need to update that. Alright, so you can see the volume. Let's play that again. Alright, maybe that's just because it's the idle file, but it's not playing beyond about this point, and that may be because of this minimum pitch. Not exactly sure. Anyway, you get the picture of what I'm doing here. Let me go ahead and load up my edited two-stroke. Alright, so I'll just start back over. Okay. I'm going to switch my tires to the proper folder. 2.0 tires. Okay. And then the sound file. Ooh, let's see. Be careful there. 2.0 and the sound file. Alright, so obviously mine looks a lot different. I have done a bunch of editing on the volume, duration here, and really the amount of files. I actually only have 4 files here. By the way, I meant to tell you that this line right here indicates throttle on and off, the separation. So everything above this line is your throttle on. So when you're giving it gas, that's your sound bar. And when you're letting go, here's your other, okay? So the first, I know why you couldn't hear my idle, I'm a dummy. So the first sound when I hit play, since I'm not actually giving the bike any throttle, the file below this line here is actually what's playing because I'm not touching anything. That's your off idle. Alright. So anyway, as you can see, I've went through and updated these values and volumes to create these different mix levels. Alright, so I'm going to hit play. I like to do it in about 3rd gear. Alright, and if I want to hear it, let's say without this pink, this is kind of interesting. So sample 1 of layer 0. So layer 0, sample 1. Let's mute that. I'm sorry. That is not the one I wanted to do. So it must be sample 2. So you can see it's muted. We'll hit play. now you can really hear my off throttle sound I put in. That way you can really hear my off throttle sound that I put in. I'm still editing to make that a little louder. And if y'all are hearing that weird glitchy sound when I stop hitting play, that's something to do with my computer that just started yesterday. I think I know what it is. I doubt you'll experience that. Anyway, hopefully this was any help at all. It's a complicated program, but I'll just show you real quick one more time on editing this section. So turn this back on. Alright, so if I'm editing the top, I want to find the corresponding area. So let's say I'm going to edit the high, and let's say I don't want that power band sound to kick in yet, or whatever audio point it is. It's this dark purple here, sample 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. Alright, and these darker colors are just because the two files are overlapping. That's not an extra file. Alright, anyway, let's say I don't want it to kick in so early. Here is point 0 right here. I'm going to move that up. Alright, and point 1's right here. So if point 1 is at 0.70, and I want to move this up a little bit, let's say to 0.65. Alright, I just hit update, and you'll see right here, update, that has moved. Okay. Maybe I don't want it to be so loud at point 1, so I can knock the volume down to 0.75 and hit update. Okay, so there you go, and then you can press play and test all that out and figure it out. Alright, so your off values, throttling down and all that good stuff, alright, that's going to be layer 1. So there's layer 0, the top, then layer 1. Alright, and then I of course only have 2 here, but if I want to adjust let's say 0.3 of when you start to hear this, and I want it 50% of the way, update, and you can see now it's at 50%. I hope this helps. I know it's not the greatest tutorial, but it'll get you started.